Hello, I am Michael Hernandez. I am a student at the University of Connecticut and a current Stamford resident. In today's podcast, I want to speak about one of the most important issues facing the new administration that will be sworn in later this year: affordable housing. In order to understand how Stamford became unaffordable, it's important to revisit its history. In 1986, the former director of the Stamford Urban Redevelopment Commission, Jack Conlin, claimed that one day some urban planner will write a doctorate thesis on the Stamford experience. The Stamford experience was a 60-year experiment in urban development that transformed this small New England town into one of the most prominent corporate centers in the nation. This experiment is considered one of the most successful and largest urban renewal projects in U.S. history. Today, large office towers and construction cranes around the city continue to promote the legacy of urban renewal. However, the Stamford experience did not take into account the needs of local residents, and instead prioritized the interests of large developers, like Robert Rich and Company. Rich carried out his development of the downtown area over the tenure of 7 mayors, and he was often described as someone who was above criticism, party politics, or scandal. Rich might even be described as the Robert Moses figure of Stamford. This recurring pattern of large and expedited development without community consultation and a broader vision for the city is poised to transform Stamford once again through massive redevelopment in the downtown and South End neighborhoods. So the city faces a pressing question in 2021. Will Stamford become a city of high-end renters and large corporations, or a city of diverse residents and businesses? As the city enters its second decade of nonstop high-end residential development and commercial space expansion, affordable housing lags behind. The supply of affordable housing is the most important issue currently facing the city of Stamford, as it will determine whether current residents can stay in an increasingly unaffordable housing market, and who will be able to move in. According to a recent report by the Regional Planning Association, the housing needs of Fairfield County residents are not being met, and there is a significant deficit in the supply of affordable housing units. Additionally, many residents are burdened financially since they are spending 30% or more of their income on housing. These worrisome figures come at a time when Fairfield County is experiencing an unprecedented influx of New York City residents due to the housing trends caused by the pandemic that have fueled the fastest rising home prices in the nation. Given that Stamford's housing boom shows no signs of stopping, the city must address the housing affordability crisis through a proactive approach so it can determine a plan of action for the coming decade. Moreover, housing determines many other aspects of people's livelihood, such as access to education, job opportunities, and city services. If Stamford residents can no longer afford to live in the city, then who will? The path to a solution starts with the municipal government, making this issue a priority. Fortunately, there is some academic research on this issue and examples from other cities that can inform housing policies in Stamford. For example, Denver preserved thousands of affordable housing units through the revolving Affordable Housing Loan Fund and expanded its coverage by increasing property taxes. Other initiatives are in the works in Denver, but the underlying feature is the creation of a fund to ensure capital projects are realized. Similarly, in Minneapolis, the city is supporting mixed-income housing to make the incorporation of affordable housing more seamless. In Rancho Cucamonga, California, the Southern California Housing Development Corporation was able to acquire over 2,500 rental units valued at over $100 million. These projects were realized at the municipal level, so similar initiatives in Stamford would be within the city's jurisdiction. If the Stamford Social Innovation Review, experts recommend a rollback of regulations at all levels of government to allow for more housing, since restrictive measures such as single-family zoning often prevent the construction of affordable housing. They also recommend new ways to finance rental housing and mortgages with measures such as crowdfunding. Professor Lynn Segalin from the University of Pennsylvania has researched public-private partnerships at the local level and has concluded that they can be successful when the government and the private sector work in a collaborative manner and their goals are clear. In Australia and the Netherlands, the rise of public-private partnerships is promising, and thousands of units have been successfully delivered. More importantly, the role of the municipal government is preserved and strengthened through these schemes. Stamford can implement some of these policies to address its affordable housing shortage. This can be achieved by creating additional public-private partnerships with the sole aim of creating affordable housing units throughout the city. Case studies from cities in the United States and abroad show that municipal governments can play a big role in the creation of affordable housing units by partnering with the private sector. Stamford is home to many private developers, and the city is undergoing a construction boom that started in 2010 with the multi-billion-dollar Harbor Point development. The current market forces can be leveraged to incentivize the private sector to build more affordable housing units. There have been multiple small-scale projects where the municipal government has worked with developers to create affordable housing units. In some cases, affordable housing units are built on-site in large developments and are known as below-market rate units. While these contributions have alleviated some of the market pressures on low-income families in the city, there are not enough affordable housing units to fulfill current demand, so a large-scale approach is needed. This will be achieved through more public-private partnerships that are coordinated by the municipal government. Stamford is a leading city in the state when it comes to affordable housing, but given current demand and the potential to provide even more units, it is imperative for Stamford to use public-private partnerships to ensure housing for the foreseeable future. Thank you for listening.